is often celebrated, but rarely understood. Behind every breakthrough is a story of struggle, perseverance, and a moment when giving up was never an option. These are not ordinary success stories. These are journeys of resilience and purpose. They didn't wait for change. They became the change. Good evening, I am Ox Ballado, and this is The Game Changer. Our guest today is a woman who has chosen to stand firm where it matters most, on the side of justice, accountability, and truth. Fearless in the courtroom and unwavering in principle, she represents resilience not just as a profession, but as a calling. A legal mind, a public servant, and a true game changer whose work continues to leave a lasting impact on lives and communities. The game changer herself. Please welcome Attorney Kristina Conti.
Hello, good day.
Wow, it's gonna be a very exciting evening. Makakasama natin ng the Kristina Conti. All right, kwentuhan po tayo. First things first, let's be clear. Where's the case of former President Rodrigo Duterte now?
It is at that point where the question is, do we go to trial or not? Medyo crucial. The next stage that has been postponed is technically, we're at the pre-trial stage. The next hearing that was postponed from September is called the confirmation of charges hearing.
Okay.
It is crucial in the sense that at this hearing, it's somewhat like PI in the Philippines. Sa atin, di ba, harap ka sa piskal. Eh, wala naman po akong kaso, wala naman po akong ginawa. We're at that point.
Okay.
But we're before the judges. And the judges will determine what the actual charges against the defendant.
Walang mangyari sa syudad mo. Pag sinabi mo, huminto kayo, papatayin ko kayo.
He's being detained on standard of evidence, reasonable basis to believe that he committed crimes against humanity, etc. Pero ang tanong, ano exactly yung ginawa niya? So that's what we're looking at sa possible next hearing.
Well, is Duterte himself already the central subject of the case?
Essentially, yes. At this point, he's being accused of being the mastermind or the most responsible of crimes against humanity committed in the Philippines. In the courtroom, there are some things that kumbaga, are simplified. And probably we'll be looking at about 49 incidents tried and connected to Duterte. But for many, they would say, ba't ito lang? Konti lang. But, bottom line yan, this is a legal case. And whatever you can prove in court, that's the most important thing.
Based on what is publicly known, how strong is the case against Duterte compared to other former leaders being investigated by the ICC?
Speaking as someone who was here in the Philippines during the height of the killings, the evidence is strong. There is plenty of, well, I would say anecdotal evidence from on our part sa mga biktima. Ang kwento namin, eto yung pagpatay, eto ganito yung nangyari. About the killings itself, but then you have to prove that what he did is directly connected to the killings on the ground. So that part, from what we've heard from witnesses who have come forward, and these are parang insider witnesses, so si Mato Bato and Las Cañas, they tell us that Duterte is indeed in charge of the Duterte or the Davao Death Squad. At itong death squad na ito ang nagpasimula talaga ng tokhang killings nationwide when he became president. So, with that information, I would say that Duterte is clearly most responsible for killings in the Philippines connected to the war on drugs. The evidence is strong. You don't only have testimonial evidence. Sa Pilipinas, sikat yan, di ba? Na, may star witness ka ba? We have, or the prosecution has, object evidence, documentary evidence, and many other types of evidence that could be presented before the court. Malinaw yan. And even if I were not speaking as the lawyer for the victims, the thousands of documentation, media interviews, media reports about the killings is or could be enough to pin him down for the killings. On the other side, may namatay, sinong nag-utos? Media interview din niya. So there's plenty of videos to say, of him saying, ako ang nagpapatay niyan. Ako ang bahala sa war on drugs. Ako ang responsable dyan.
Yeah.
So for me, he is guilty.
Paulit-ulit, Duterte repeatedly claims that the ICC has no jurisdiction because the Philippines withdrew, right? And does that argument still carry any legal weight today? Meron pa bang bearing yan?
Yes, in a sense. It's a material issue, yung withdrawal, before the appeals chamber. It is their Supreme Court which is tackling the issue now. To be clear, the pre-trial chamber has already said, we have jurisdiction. Thing is, medyo komplikado kasi this is the first time. This is the first time that a country which has withdrawn is pursuing a case. Kumbaga, usually ang ano nila,
It's kind of unique
member
in a way,
ka,
no?
member ka, tapos patuloy ka pa ring iniimbestigahan, may nangyayari pa rin siya. Pero dito, in the middle of the investigation, umalis, or a little bit before investigation, umalis. Problem with that is, how will the state participate or engage with the court? If before, you were willingly a part of the court, now you are no longer part of the court. So there's many aspects to that. Pero for us, there should still be continuing responsibilities and obligations of a withdrawn state. Ang ICC ay hindi NBA. That's a foreign court. Ang ICC parang FIBA. Kung ang Team Philippines, nakipag-away yung isang basketball player sa isang player ng Slovenia, nakipagsapakan, tapos ayaw na natin sa FIBA, umalis tayo ng FIBA. Yung sapakan ba na yon, pwede pang pag-usapan ng FIBA? Pwede pa ba nilang mag-pursue ng disciplinary sanctions? I would say FIBA would have, because the incident happened at the time we were both a member. So, continuing na lang ito. Kaya, in simplest terms, we have continuing obligations from our previous membership.
Now, has the Philippine government's refusal to cooperate weakened Duterte's position or actually strengthened the ICC's justification to proceed?
On the latter question, yes, I would say that it has helped the ICC develop new mechanisms on how to, one, gather information. That's important for them. State dapat yung magbibigay niyan. Second, how to protect and preserve that information or evidence that they have gathered. It's witness protection. Third, paano nila i-enforce yung mga orders ng court? And so we have arrest. Paano mo arestuhin yan? Paano mo ikukulong after the trial? Kasi there's two material or big issues that only a member state can do. Hindi magagawa ng ICC. One is arrest a person. The ICC has no police. Two, detain a person after conviction. Yung parang bilibid sa atin. Kumpara ito dun sa while the trial is being heard, they have detention facilities. Parang BJMP natin. Pero yung rehabilitation aspect, na convict ka na, walang ganun yung ICC. ang bilibid nila or penitentiary facility, they would have to refer to member states. So yun, that's one aspect that is challenging. And for all of these issues, dahil hindi na nga member state yung Pilipinas, nag-prosper yung ICC. And so, they have put in the mechanism they have with Interpol.
Yes.
They have an agreement with Interpol. Yun yung medyo ginamit din nila on how to implement the warrant of arrest against
Yes.
Duterte. They can go through the Assembly of State Parties to ask a non-member state to cooperate. And kung patungkol naman kay Duterte, for that, I would say it's more political. It's not per se the ICC, because the ICC will proceed with this case, whether Duterte is in detention or not. I mean, it will proceed to investigate. Maunsami lang yung trial mismo,
Yes.
kung hindi siya in detention. Pero they would have interviewed people, they would have gathered evidence. Tuloy lang ang
pa rin.
trabaho nila eh. Wala silang pakialam dyan sa ano. So mostly, ang epekto kay Duterte is political.
Now, realistically speaking, is there still a legal path that could completely stop this case?
There's two things. One, kumbaga sabi ko nga kanina, the ICC will proceed with this case or investigation without any political pressure. But it will not proceed if it has no jurisdiction.
Right.
So if it has a finding that it has no jurisdiction legally, then this case and investigation will stop entirely. When I say investigation, it's also because they're not only looking at Duterte. Sabi natin kanina, most responsible si Duterte. But the ICC, the prosecutor, has said he's worked with a team. He's a co-perpetrator. And as co-perpetrator, he had a team of 8 others who assisted him. At dito, interesado ang lahat.
I'm sure.
Si Bato ba, si Bongo ba ay part ng listahan nito? Si Sara Duterte ba part ng listahan? I cannot say for now, especially since it's not my job, it's the prosecutor's job. Ang tanong na lang, did they kumbaga, decisively assist him? Did they have a role in decision-making?
Right.
Were they also most responsible? So, if the ICC has no jurisdiction, proceedings, investigations into these 8 others will stop. Well, wala nang mahuhuli pang iba. But on the other hand, you can also say, I am not ready to stand trial. I am not fit to stand trial. And he's said that, nga lang, natalo siya sa issue na yun. So far, the statements that we've heard were from the experts, medical experts.
Okay.
But judges should say so. So we're waiting for that this day.
After all these years, ang dami, nilipas yung panahon, kumusta na yung mga pamilya, the families of the drug war victims really doing today? How are they?
Alam nyo, almost the
Yeah.
10th year. This year,
Yeah.
we'll be celebrating 10 years. Celebrating, I don't know if that's the right term to use, of the
Something
war on
happened.
drugs.
Yeah.
Sa totoo, hindi nila masabi na bumuti o sumama yung kalagayan nila kasi they think of it as yung kumbaga natural progression. Wala eh. Tutulak talaga yung panahon. And systematic to eh. At kung tatandaan natin, yung mga pinatay naman sa war on drugs, yung mahihirap. Bihibihira tayong makarinig na may pinatay sa village, sa gated na communities, diba? Subdivision.
Exclusive.
Oo, bihirang-bihira. Laging Eskinita, Caloocan, urban poor community. Kaya, hindi lang yung war on drugs ang nag-victimize sa kanila, kundi yung it's the entire system that has victimized them. And the war on drugs was only a re-victimization. And then on another front, the politics.
Yes.
That has been so aggravating. For many, actually, many voted for Duterte. For these victims, yeah. They voted for Duterte. They trusted Duterte that he will clean up the country. It turns out sila pala yung wawalisin. Parang, hindi ko naman po alam yun. So there's some sort of treachery and that they feel na betrayed, na we've been screwed over by politicians so many times over. Pero yung patayin talaga kami ng harap-harapan, itong presidente lang ang gumawa nun. There's still victims hoping to triumph or to transcend their situation, but they're so afraid of another Duterte presidency.
Is this case moving to attorney? this to be clear. Is this something that's getting closer to accountability? Or is it at risk of being frozen indefinitely?
I would say this could be one of the best examples of quick and swift justice. Kasi we went to this court specifically under the premise that will not be tied up under previous Philippine experiences. It's now in the records.
Right.
He was taken to court. There was evidence enough to keep him there. And probably only an acquittal after trial will absolve him. Pero as of now, there is some standard of evidence that says he is responsible for these crimes.
Before the cases and the courtroom battles, there was a beginning that shaped who she is today. When we return, we go back to her roots, her childhood, and her early days as a journalist that helped define her voice and purpose. That story continues here on The Game Changer.
Good news! Lots of players!
Mula noon hanggang ngayon, tumatakda sa puso ng mga Pilipino. 3 dekada ng kasama sa pang-araw-araw na swerte, saya at pag-asa.
At ngayon, mas pinasaya, mas pinabongga, at mas pinalaki ang premyo ng PCSO Lotto Game.
Sa bagong presyo na 25 pesos per combination, mas malaki na ang pwedeng mapanalunan.
Sa Lotto 642 mula 6 million pesos minimum jackpot, ngayon ay 10 million pesos na.
At may gagalante pa ba sa mas pinalaking jackpot ng Mega Lotto 645? Kung dati ay 9 million pesos ang minimum jackpot dito, 15 million pesos ay ngayon!
Super boost din ng jackpot ng Super Lotto 649 dahil from 16 million na minimum jackpot, ito ay 25 million pesos na.
Grande rin ang taas ng minimum jackpot ng Grand Lotto 655 from 30 million pesos to 45 million pesos!
At ang dating 50 million peso minimum jackpot sa Ultra Lotto 658, 75 million pesos na ngayon!
Maghahanap ka pa ba ng iba? Siyempre, dito ka na!
So, what are you waiting for? Buy your tickets na for our jackpot-bearing games. Sa halagang 25 pesos, jackpot size na ang panalo mo!
Sa PCSO Lotto, mas exciting na maglaro.
Dahil mas pinalaki ang premyo sa bago nitong presyo.
Kaya araw-araw, let's play Lotto!
Sa bawat taya mo sa Lotto, STL at Scratch It Instant Sweepstakes, may isang buhay ang nabibigyan ng pag-asa. Sa PCSO, hindi lang swerte at panalo ang hatid, kundi tapat na paglingkod at pag-asa sa bawat sulok ng bansa. Libreng gamot, libreng konsulta. Sa pamamagitan ng PCSO Multi-Specialty Clinic, libo-libong kababayan ang nagpapatingin sa mga eksperto. Milyon-milyong Pilipino ang nagseserbisyohan sa medical and dental missions at pamimigay ng libreng gamot. Kabataang may pangarap, kasama mo ang PCSO sa pag-abot niyan. Sa pamamagitan ng mandatory contributions, bahagi ng charity fund ay iniladaan sa ibang institusyon tulad ng Commission on Higher Education, Philippine Sports Commission, Boys and Girl Scouts of the Philippines, at Philippine Red Cross para suportahan ang kani-kanilang mga programa para sa lipunan. Panahon na emergency, PCSO is there for you. Through the Individual Medical Assistance Program, patients in need receive critical help for procedures and hospitalization. Kahit sa panahon ng sakuna, PCSO provides assistance from charity timba distribution to medicine donation. Makaaasa kayong nariyan ng PCSO para tumulong. At ikaw, oo ikaw, may parte ka sa bawat serbisyo publiko ng PCSO. Tuwing naglalaro ka ng loto, hindi lang sa jackpot ang bakas mo. Kasama ka sa paglikom ng pondo para sa serbisyong pangkalusugan ng PCSO. Hataw sa panalo, hataw sa pagtulong. Kaya Kaya bumisita na sa pinakamalapit na Lotto outlet at bumili na inyong ticket para sa tsansang manalo at makiisa sa pagtulong sa sambayanang Pilipino. Araw-araw, bakas tayo. And let's play Lotto!
Boss, what if magsugal tayo? Coin flip natin. 5,000 or 1 million.
5,000 or 1 million. Sigurado ka ba? Di ba masyado malaki yung diferensya nun?
Sugal nga eh.
Ay, kaya, alam mo, kaya ka lumulubog. Kaya ka nagkakaproblema, kakasugal mo.
Eh, syempre, baka manalo.
Eh, paano pagtalo?
Ayun lang.
O, speaking of, alam mo ba mas maganda? Alam mo yung loto?
Loto? Alam ko.
Loto. Yung loto. Sikat na sikat yun, di ba? Sa loto, alam mo ba yung 100 pesos mo, pwede kang maging multi-millionaire.
Paano?
Tataya ka, syempre.
Ay,
O, pag tumaya ka ng 100 pesos, pwede kang maging multi-millionaire. At ang kagandahan pa sa loto, bro.
Ano?
For example, di ka na nanalo. Nagtataya ka 100. Nakakatulong ka pa sa mga kapwa Pilipino mo.
Bakit?
May charity. Pwede ginagamit din nila yung sa mga nangangailangan sa ospital.
Oh.
So, panalo ka na rin in a way. So, ako sa'yo, magloto ka na lang.
Hindi, sige, magloto tayo.
Oh.
Pero coin flip pa rin natin. Sugarol nga ako eh.
Sugarol ka talaga eh. Sugal na sugal ka eh. Pero tanda mo, sinabi ko sa'yo na mas okay talaga sa loto ha.
Okay.
O sige, i-coin flip mo na yan.
Sige.
Sugal talaga.
Before the courtroom and the causes, there was a beginning. Before becoming a lawyer, attorney Kristina Conti was shaped by her childhood and the influence of her mother and her early years as a journalist, where her voice, values, and sense of justice first took form. This is where her story begins. We're back, attorney. Kwentuhan ulit tayo. Now, let's go to the beginning. Let's go back to the beginning. How are you when you're growing up?
Very normal, very, sabi nga nila, batang 90s. We played outside and then came in.
Oh,
We
inabot
also
mo rin
had,
pala yun, ah.
yeah, and then we had
Okay.
computers. Pero yung WordStar 1, 2, 3, Lotus.
Ako. Disket pa nung araw.
Oh, yung malaking disket pa. So, my generation was the one that kind of enjoyed both worlds. Happy enough na I cannot remember a significant moment na parang hirap na hirap ka. But of course, it was a middle-class childhood. Hindi naman kami sobrang yaman na ano. And so there were classic stories of yung uwi ka sa probinsya para magbakasyon, ganun. Until eventually, I grew up here actually in Metro Manila, but we went back to the province so that we could go to, I think we could come together as a family because my father was based in Batangas. My mother, who worked in UP as a part of the administration, went home na. So dun kami lumaki. Although I came back again to Metro Manila for school.
Anyway, your mom, as you mentioned, ano yung mga lessons that really stayed with you?
As a lawyer, so my mom was a lawyer. She did not practice until we went home to the Batangas. So she first worked as a public attorney.
Okay.
So I really thought, for me, that was one of the, kumbaga, viable avenues, or yun yung natural. When you're a lawyer, she did not go to a law firm. She worked actually as a clerk of court and then later as PAO, because she said experience is important.
Okay.
So you do the groundwork first before you maybe get the money. So naalala ko po noon, it was, I don't know if this is accurate, but PAO attorneys got 12,000 pesos a month.
Basic pay?
Basic pay. Kaya sabi ko, okay. Parang, kaya talagang sacrifice na umuwi. And gano'n. But from what I remember, the decision was, if I want to practice as a lawyer, I need to get this experience from cases and criminal cases. And so one of the first few times that I think I went to Bilibid, pumunta kami bumisita ng client niya.
Yeah.
Nakakuha kami nung ano yun, yung parang boat
Yes.
na nasa loob ng
Ano,
bote.
Yeah, yung
Kaya parang, oh,
project
wow,
na
ang ganda.
yes.
So, akala ko parang, wow, special. Tapos, specially carved na nandun yung pangalan niya. So, parang kami, wow, special. Pero we knew na there were disadvantages na, yun nga, you're not earning as much. Ganyan. But, kumbaga, the point there is that there are deliberate choices that you can make in anticipation of, or to build yourself, or to learn something, or in anticipation of future opportunities.
Yeah. With all you went through as a young person, Attorney Conti, you already see yourself challenging authorities, right? or questioning systems back then?
No! Teacher's
Until-
pet ako.
Okay.
Wala. Although, my elementary school then was in a Catholic school. So, when you're in a Catholic school, you're brought up to follow instructions and do it so
I call it
unquestioningly
subservience.
subservience.
Okay.
So, but then, it also instilled in you the concept of right and wrong. And so you were following these people because they were right. Mas ganon. And so when you saw something that was not wrong, hindi mo susundin yun. So I think when I went to Pisay and then afterwards UP, that's what I subscribed to. So it was not blind obedience or subservience, but it was following what's right or what's wrong. And yung sabi nga nila, yung ikakatulog mo paggabi, so yun yung iniisip ko. Yung going up against authority, maybe just came as a consequence. But I was not trained to question authority. I was just brought up to follow what is right.
So, was there a particular story that you covered that stayed with you and changed you when you were practicing journalism?
Yeah. So,
You were with one of the networks or the papers?
ano ko, journalism
Yeah, yeah.
sulat. So, I was with Business World.
Oh.
Yeah, so I just won't name names. So I had a lot of stories. Of course, we were in beats. Of course, memorable yung telecommunications beat. Memorable din yung energy beat. My secretary then was Angelo Reyes,
Oh.
who was
The late.
to be, I mean, even he himself was admitted this, that he was ill fit to be in the Department of Energy. One anecdote I remember is I asked him about open access, which is opening the access sa energy. Ganyan. He said, yeah, we're open to access. So clearly, he didn't understand the concept. But what would stick with me probably would be the time I reported on a government agency. I look at COA reports, tapos parang may discrepancy. It was only a very, very small discrepancy. Parang something in the million, in the tens of millions. Ganun. Nagreklamo sila sa, sa editor ko. Parang, oh, bakit naman kami pinansin pa? Ganyan. This is a Marcos era agency na parang, bakit pa sinisilip? Maliit lang siya. Eh sabi ko, why was it newsworthy? Parang ganun ang sinasabi nila. My editor then asked, is it correct? Is it accurate? Is it what? Is it, kumbaga, tama ba? Wala bang ano dyan? Wala naman po. Pero bakit natin, actually, the decision was also for him to answer. The question was also for him to answer. Bakit mo nilagay? He put it as not only as a blurb eh. Medyo malaking space. So, together, parang ang ano namin, well, it's government.
Yeah.
Kaya my editor stood
It's
by me.
worth the story.
Yeah, it's worth the story. It is in the records.
The
Na parang,
records, yes.
even if it was for them, it was a non-story. But for us, it's government funds. So yun yung sabi ko na, it's public funds. And what is this agency for? And in the last portion of the article kasi this agency was pasein na to, ganito, ito yung mga dating, kinasangkutan, ganyan. So parang doon sila nag-bristle. Pero hopefully that story also brought to light na there are agencies or there are government institutions na baka hindi kailangan, 'di ba? Na hemorrhaging money na maging vehicle for corruption.
Yes.
So that was important for me in keeping the public trust aspect of journalism.
Well, looking back now, do you see journalism as the foundation of the lawyer you eventually become?
Yes, certainly. Diba? If there's two sides of a story, you get both sides.
Yes.
If there are 100 sides, you give me a story with all 100 sides. Of course, as with any news piece or with broadcast, limitado ang espasyo. Kaya, kahit nakuha mo yung lahat,
Maximize.
yung yung importante lang ang ihaharap mo sa korte. Kaya, important yan di ba, sa journalism, hindi mo ilalagay yung lahat na
That's why we have lead.
Tapos, in fact, pwedeng makat.
Yes.
Pwedeng makata yung storya mo. Okay na to, first 3 paragraphs. Paano po yung 10 paragraphs after? Wala na yung kwenta. So, in court, that's also important. What are the key points that have to be presented? What are the relevant points that have to be presented? That's what I've brought into my law practice.
All right. When we return, we'll look ahead what lies next for Attorney Kristina Conti, the battle still to be fought, and her vision for justice moving forward. That future continues here on The Game Changer.
We multiply the good for Filipinos nationwide. We drive learning. We promote wellness. We help rebuild lives. We turn hope into possibilities. We care for our players. We advance digital skills and employment. We bridge accessible healthcare to the underserved. We respond in times of disaster. We grant wishes that bring hope and opportunities. We champion responsible entertainment.
With this project by Bingo Plus Foundation, it really could help a lot of students and ignite their hope to innovate, to love science, to pursue research in academic but also in their professional life.
Wala na yung mga dumi galing sa tubig, malinaw. Safe na po yung tubig namin. Thank you!
Kayo po ang ilaw ng aming buhay at tahanan po. Sa loob po ng 20 years, nagkailaw din po kami.
Maraming salamat kasi natupad yung kahilingan ko po na magkaroon ng sariling tindahan. As in, sobrang saya po namin mag-ina.
I think what DigiPlus and Bingo Plus is doing is really remarkable, and I really affirm you guys for that kasi like this one is a very big step.
Together, let's help Filipinos thrive and win in life.
After everything you've been through so far, what does the next chapter look like for you?
Well, the next chapter...
Something exciting?
Yes. We hope to have a role. So there's a few lawyers, including Nery Colmenares,
Yes.
Joel Butuyan, and Gilbert Andres, who hope to have a role in the trial itself as legal representatives for victims. Our participation in the case against Duterte will mostly revolve around victims processing. So, carrying the victims' views and concerns and so forth. Aside kasi from the Duterte case, I'm looking at other counter charges. Pagpapanagot na eh. Kumbaga, sabi nga, isang araw babangon din ng mga api. Baka eto na yun. So for the victims of the war on drugs, we have this case against Duterte, possible other cases for accountability for all the others who were part of the war on drugs. Kasi si Duterte is just one of thousands who implemented the policy.
Yes.
Victims of extrajudicial killings, aside from war on drugs, there's also political killings. My organization is also working at countersuits. Medyo nahirapan, pero kaya yan. In the realm of red tagging,
Okay.
we've filed civil suits against yung mga red taggers. Ano mga pinagsasabi nyo, totoo ba yan? To close off, one thing that we also need to address, which is why I was also involved in politics in the last elections, in the previous elections even, yung parang sentimiento na wala nang mangyayari sa bansa. Kaya, I will only look out for myself and what I can do now. Kaya yung sinasabi nga na, binibenta ng mga iba yung boto nila, I would see that as rational choice theory ng mga in a survival economy.
Yes.
In a survival economy, you need to know where you're getting the next meal from. And if there's 10,000, 5,000 that's coming to you in exchange for your vote, or as ayuda disguised as vote buying,
Yes.
kakagat ka. Kasi yun yung best choice mo ngayon. And you have no hope that this situation will be better. Ganito naman lagi eh. So yung hopelessness that we feel and the struggle against the system, I think it's coming to fore. Ang tanong na lang, how we all respond. Itong corruption issue, sistema to eh. Hindi lang naman, porket nakulong si Diskaya, masaya na tayo. Hindi naman, di ba? So, hopefully now, mabaka natin yon na yung kawalang tiwala sa sistema, dahil nga mali ang sistema, pero kawalang tiwala din dun sa kapwa natin.
Yeah. Well, has your idea of justice changed over time? Or has it become clearer and more defined?
It has changed because it has become clear and more defined. That's one way of putting it. But before, sa totoo lang, because my mother was a lawyer, one idea of justice was that pag nakapunta ka ng korte, nakakuha ka ng desisyon, at kung sabi sa desisyon na iikulong ka, hustisya yan. That was for me one of the simplest forms of justice. But then, as you know more, the more you realize you don't know the concept of justice. And so I've looked at different versions of justice, different definitions of justice. But for me, what's crucial about justice is that you should know the truth. For many, they would say, this is my truth, this is her truth, this is... For me, there's a factual truth that you cannot shake. Kumbaga, napatay mo ba yung taong yan o hindi? Ganito ba ang paraan ng pagpatay? Ganon. Hindi mo yan mababago kahit nasasabihin, no, from my point of view, dapat naman siyang patayin. That's a different kind of truth. Problem is, and this is my realization, in court, there's this thing called legal truth or legal fiction. It's what you can prove. So for me, one aspect of justice, whether you get it from a regular court, from an international tribunal, from a people's court, it has to rely on truth, on the undisputable factual truth.
Attorney Conti, with your display of courage and bravery, with all the issues confronting not just you but us, I do believe I understand may risk dyan eh.
Yeah.
Diba? And how do you sustain yourself emotionally and mentally in this line of work, especially knowing that there are risks?
Well, one, the clients. Sa organization nga namin, we have a saying that we have brave clients, they deserve brave lawyers. And so it's been important that our clients stand up for themselves.
Right.
Hindi yung nakasalalay lang sa abogado. Sasabihin nila, ikaw na bahala dyan, attorney. Walang ganun. Sa amin, yung kliyente mismo ang tatayo sa sarili nilang paa. At yung pag-abogado namin sa kanila ay hindi lang parang charity na, o sige, tutulungan ka namin kasi walang-wala ka. Hindi, kundi sabayang tulong. It also helps us develop, actually. Kaya for me, hindi nga to sa usapin ng parang selflessness. I get something out of this. In fact, to some extent, our clients would have to defray expenses, travel expenses, kung saan ka man makakuha. Kaya hindi naman yung pumunta ako dito para maghirap. This is sustainable. This kind of practice, people's lawyering, is sustainable if you have the clients cooperate and understand their role. They are also part of the job. But then, on another front, talagang yan yung may attacks na. Yun pa rin, yung pagsasama-sama nyo. Because when you know, you are so attuned to each other, that an attack on one is an attack against all. Kaya, that's where you should get your bravery from. And then, as regards death, nasabi nga nila na it's very, actually, it's been hinted at by Duterte supporters. Death, imprisonment, or kung ano man, attorney, lagot ka sa 2028. Alam mo na ang kalalagyan mo, o nako, ganyan. Ang ano na lang doon ay, well, it hasn't come yet. And until then, I can still do something. As to killings of lawyers, to be particular about it, we have been studying how lawyers have been killed, why lawyers have been killed. It's usually related. There was this one question, should we arm ourselves? Should we, kumbaga, at least do something about it? There's very little you can do when there's a target on you. Diba? Kasi, nandiyan na, may papatay siya. Sandali, nakalimutan ko yung, nasaan ba yung baril ko? Ganon. Or, teka, ano nga bang sabi sa self-defense? There's very little thing you can do. And this is similar to rape. Hindi ikaw ang mag-a-adjust kung ikaw yung biktima. Papalit ka ba ng damit? Magsusuot ka ba ng tuwalya sa ulo mo? No. Who has to change is the killer or the perpetrator. So the way we do it is attack it systematically. Make sure that they cannot kill you or they cannot attack you. And that there's many ways of doing that. For example, for the trolls, deplatforming or making sure that they don't earn money from you, di ba?
Right. Ba sa time na, was there a moment na parang dumating yung sukdulan? How long will I still be doing this?
Yeah, almost every day. No? Parang ano ba? Anong gagawin ko ngayon? Paano, ano? Pwede bang hindi na lang muna ako magpakita? But then, ironically, it's the supporters or the detractors who would keep you going. Kasi they attack you as a person. They would say, bobo ka naman. Hindi bayaran ka naman. Hindi So, just to prove them wrong, it really helps na, they help me. It really helps na they do it every day. Of course, on the other hand, you have your family, you have your friends, you have all these other people who support you. And that's been very, very crucial in sustaining me and my work. If not for them, wala ako dito. And sabi nga natin, it's a conscious choice, right?
Yes. But, given those, what are other sacrifices that, that are still ahead?
Time. The case of Duterte will definitely take a lot of time. I've talked to several lawyers who have handled cases. They've said, this is not like a usual case na nag-aaral mo overnight and so forth. No, you will spend a lot of time on this case. You will spend a lot of time with the victims. The victims' work is mostly behind the scenes. Yung makakarating sa ICC na sasabihin ng biktima, for 5 sentences, it's 5 days of work. Yung ganon. To get their trust alone, you need to have been with them every step of the way, which is also why I'm not letting go. Because the trust that has already been invested, you cannot break that, or you cannot just withdraw that na, ay, ayoko na pala, bye guys. So that should keep me going.
Right. One of the most important questions I'd like to ask tonight, how do you want to be remembered? Not just as a lawyer, but as a person.
Well, essentially, I don't want to be remembered at all. I mean, why? But in terms of the work, probably.
Yes.
I hope people will remember that this profession, so speaking as a lawyer, that this profession is not just a tool or an enabler for men to do wrong things. Enabler ang mga abogado sa corruption, enabler sa extrajudicial killings, we cover up. Enabler ang mga abogado sa kawalang hiyaan in general. So I want people to remember that this profession can also be used for good. And ito yung a bit personal, yung babae. It's always the women who will stand up until the very end. Sorry, Pero in the war on drugs, if you see families, diba, with someone dead, it's the mothers and the wives who have stood together and stand together for extended periods of time and are willing to expand the work. Kumbaga, itong laban na to, hindi na lang tungkol sa akin kundi tungkol sa ibang pamilya, tungkol dun sa kapitbahay ko, tungkol sa iba.
In the country where speaking truth to power is difficult, why is it worth doing?
Because of so many things. Okay. I have personal reasons. My friends are part of this. etc. My family is supportive. You can also have professional reasons. For me, this is a great practice as a lawyer. Kasi it's both domestic law, international law, it's criminal law, civil law, and all sorts of laws. But there is always that overarching question, kasi walang ibang gagawa. Or sino ang gagawa pag umalis ka? And so I'm in a perfect position now to do this, and hopefully it inspires others to follow, so that when I cannot do it anymore, someone else will.
Thank you very much, Atty. Conti. Maraming salamat for joining us in the show and for speaking your mind and sharing valuable inputs and insights to not just to me, but for everyone.
Walang anuman.
It's a pleasure.
Sa susunod ulit.
Yeah. Tonight, we were reminded that real challenge is never easy and never accidental. It is shaped by courage, tested by sacrifice, and driven by an unshakable belief that justice must be pursued no matter the cost. From her roots to her work today, Attorney Kristina Conti shows us that being a game changer means standing firm when it's easier to stay silent and choosing purpose over comfort. These stories matter because they challenge us to reflect, to question, and to act. Change doesn't begin in institutions alone. It begins with individuals who refuse to look away. I am Ox Ballado. Thank you for watching, and this has been The Game Changer.
Bubusugin ang inyong umaga. Gigisingin ang inyong diwa sa mga makabuluhang isyu ng bayan, sa mga trending at usap-usapan. Balitang malaman, huwag ng pagtalunan. Dahil dito, walang bola, puro tama. Walang bola, puro tama. Walang bola, puro tama. Kasama si George Bandola. Ano pang hinihintay nyo? Tutok na sa masayang komentaryo sa balat ng Digital TV. Walang bola, puro tama. Kasama si George Bandola. Dito lang sa balat ng Free-to-Air TV. D8TV Channel 31 sa inyong mga TV box.
Abangan ngayong Pebrero 2026 sa D8TV Metroscape.
Hi, I'm Flan.
And I am Giselle.
Samahan niyo kaming libutin ng mga urban areas dito sa Pilipinas.
At hanapin ng hidden gems, masasarap na pagkain at magagandang art scenes.
Hip music spots, pati na rin mga one-of-a-kind staycations. Name it and we'll find it. Dito lang yan sa Metro Escape sa D8TV.
Abangan ngayong Pebrero 2026, The Game Changer. From untold struggles to groundbreaking success, meet the trailblazers, hear their stories, and witness how they changed the game. Catch veteran broadcast journalist and multi-awarded public service program host Ox Ballado as he sits down with the movers, the visionaries, and the real-life change makers who transform their communities and our world. Their stories, their struggles, their triumphs. They are not just players, they are the game changers. Abangan ngayong Pebrero 2026 sa D8TV. Agapay, Tatak, Rosa Rosal. Be inspired as we unfold the story of William Theo steps up to a legacy of compassion, embracing the great responsibility of continuing the public service mission started by his grandmother, the iconic Rosa Rosal, a medical talk show that continues the mission of helping, healing, and serving with heart. Real stories, expert insights, life-saving conversations. Because every Filipino deserves care. The Rosa Rosal way. This is a legacy of service, continued with compassion. Agapay, tatak serbisyong Rosa Rosal.
When do you think is the best time na pumunta ka na to a aesthetic center?
Okay lang yun. Talagang magpa-botox ka, magpa-fillers ka. It's totally fine. As long as proud ka, diba?
Yeah. And I think there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
Kasi the reason why they're there is to help us as well, diba?
Diba? Once a cheater, always a cheater.
Likelihood na mag-cheat sila lahat, it's actually 300%. Ano ibig sabihin nun? When a person has been cheating on their previous partner, you are not an exemption.
And then actually worse pa nga kasi parang hindi ako pwede shower or do something nang nakasara yung door.
Seryoso?
Kasi feeling niya may kausap ako and stuff. Gawain pala niya. So doon ko lang nalaman na, oh my gosh, ganun pala yun.
Yes, yes. So it was very, very fun. But then this pressure to always keep up, you always have to be ahead, stay ahead. You have to be on top of what's the next trend. So parang that pressure, it's not good for us.
It's a date! Tuwing Thursday, alas 8 ng gabi, dito lang sa D8TV.
Abangan ngayong Pebrero 2026 sa D8TV, The PH Insider on TV. In a nation of opinions and power plays, one show dares to look deeper, beyond the headlines, beyond the noise. Three voices, one mission. Ox Ballado, Attorney Rizandro Unay, and Attorney Eugene Riego, revealing the truth behind the nation's most urgent issues. The PH Insider on TV.